Alrighty, here's a video of a peach crunch or peach cobbler. I use natural lemon for the tart flavor. I don't like too much of sweetness. I like to blend it in with a little bit of tart flavor from the lemon. That's natural, unprocessed sugar cane. I like to use sugar cane instead of white sugar. That kind is more unprocessed than the other brands. It's more like a dust, like a powder dust, and I use it to put in my peach cobbler. I don't use brown sugar, even though that color is brown. It's still cane sugar. You see how watery it is right now. I have a strategy where I thicken that up because I don't want it too watery, so I thicken it up. But right now, just add the cinnamon and all of my flavor to that pot because that's going to be my base for the peach crunch. You see the butter is in there. I use a little bit of butter just for that part, basically, just to have that good flavor. I use a little bit of vanilla flavor inside of there too, and then I just stir everything up. But you notice it's still watery. Yeah, it's still watery. So what I do is create something that'll thicken it up, and that right there is corn starch with tapioca flour, which is gluten-free. It's a starch that binds bacon and filling things. Yeah, I add that in there, and I have to keep checking it to make sure I don't have it too thick or too thin. I want it just right. And I use acorn flour. Acorn is actually gluten-free too. That's one of the ancient flours that they used back in Africa, the Middle Eastern stuff. Yeah, so I put that in there and I thicken it up, but then I also use it to make the crunch. I put a little bit of both products inside of that bowl with the brown sugar, which is cane sugar, and then I'll add the cinnamon and the butter, the melted butter, to create the crunchy texture. Alright, so you see how dry the batter got because I had to mix everything together. As you can see, I had to feel for the texture. You want a dry, moist texture, like cookie dough. Now, once that process is done, now I'll go ahead and start adding my ingredients that I put together inside of the pan. And that's basically it, though. Yeah, but my focus is always the crust, the crunchy crust, because that's what really sets it off. This part with the peaches is very easy to me, to get the syrup and stuff ready. But you see, it's not too thick or too watery, because when it go in the oven with the dough and the crunchy stuff on top, it's going to actually get a little bit thicker. So I knew that already. That's why I had the purpose to do it like that. Now I just add the dough. Yeah, it was good. It came out good though. And like I said, it was my first time actually doing this video with this project. And I encourage anybody to, just try different things. Be in the kitchen, go in the kitchen, get in the kitchen. That's your hospital. Your kitchen is your hospital. I know my kitchen is mine. Enjoying the fruits of my labor, balancing everything out, not just over consuming nothing. That's the key. And I don't want to be a consumer of just garbage food. So now look, now you can see the end product, how the dough came out. And I use a broil. You use a broil to crust, to put the crust on the top. That's what I did. Now it's thicker, it's just right. You let it sit out, it's gonna formulate how it's supposed to, and that's it. And then I decided to, do some bananas too, just because that's a good texture for me. The peaches with the bananas. You could try banana peach smoothie, stuff like that. So I just decided to add it in my peach crunch. Yeah, it's all experimenting, man. That's all it's about for me. And then would I do it again? Yes, definitely I'll make that again. Definitely. But take a look at the thickness, how everything just formulated. That's how you will want it to turn out. Me personally, I like mine to turn out where my sauce is not too thick, not too watery, because when you put it in the oven, it's going to actually form a little bit more thickness automatically. But yeah, that was basically it. So let's get into it. Time to get into the taste. You ready? Are you ready? Let's go.
I'm only here for a frequency. Preparing vegan, plant-based dishes, whether it's just food, fruit, pies. I'm gonna call this a peach crunch, cobbler, peach crunch. That's the name of this. I added bananas in it too. So for people that watch the video, I added bananas. That's my preference. To each his own. But I'm here to test it out, see how it came out. It's still hot. You can see that. Oh man. It's on point. Working weight. Got the crunch at the top because I broiled it. So the crunch gonna automatically be at the top. Anything sitting inside the juice, it's gonna be more soft, which is a good blend though. But look, let me show you. You see the crunch? Right there. That's the crunch. I like it. I don't want it dry. I don't like that. I'm sure a lot of people don't like stuff dry. You know what I mean? You want it wet, juicy fruit. But anyways, type of stuff, try it at your house with the kids. Get them hip to this. It's just like a peach cobbler. Some people use like eggs and stuff to make their dough and all that. I ain't using none of that. I don't use milk, none of that. It's a frequency. It's Kim Rael representing I Evolve. You see? See the I? Evolve at the bottom. That's that third eye, that consciousness. How you see things in the world. How you see everything around you in your world.